Cave mapping. Throughout the entire world, there are miles upon miles of underground caves, most of them unexplored even to this day. It's some people's jobs to map the layout and internals of these cave systems, but there are others who pursue this as a hobby. This activity is mostly called spelunking. Spelunking is often described as the practice or hobby of exploring underground caverns or caving. I do not recommend looking up the Urban Dictionary definition for spelunking, by the way. Now, these real spelunking men and women are quite rightly described as crazy or with a death wish, squeezing themselves through caverns and caves most people would never dare to set foot in, crawling across their stomachs in cramped, claustrophobic spaces, risking their lives to see where these caves go. To myself and others, this is quite literally what nightmares are made of. Now, while we think they're crazy, some of the discoveries from this are things most people will never lay their eyes on, or things people haven't laid their eyes on in thousands of years. But crazy or not, if it's what they enjoy, then power to them, I say. Do what you love. Mapping these caves is important. It makes it safer for other spelunkers and keeps people from coming into contact with life-threatening situations inside these caves. So how would you feel about this in VR? Well, fortunately, the game I'm looking at, Scanner Sombre, isn't as bad as that. You won't be getting claustrophobic here, so don't worry about that, but cave mapping is definitely one of the center focuses, and believe me, that is not nearly as boring as it sounds. So with that, welcome members of the always growing VR horde. My name is Rex, this is Eyes on VR, and today, like I say, I'm taking a look at Scanner Sombre. Scanner Sombre is a really unique gameplay experience in VR, from a game that started without VR support back in 2017, which explains the movement system, but it's not that bad, it works like any other VR game, it's just teleport only. Not to worry though, as the developers have made allowances for this that make things easier. It's worth sticking with it if you don't like teleport movement, as you will see some beautiful things when you explore this underground cave system, trying to fulfill the protagonist's goal they've been working towards for decades. Okay, what's this area? What are they doing? Oh. Okay. Oh! What happened in this place? And that is to learn about the civilization and even cult that has lived in these caves deep underground for thousands of years. Now believe me, this sounds like a horror game, but it isn't. You'll have a little jump here and there, but they have to keep it interesting. Okay, down there. Hello? Oh, what is that? Okay, no, me no liking. Come on, damn this teleport. Okay then. For me, it was interesting all the way through, learning about the cult and the people that lived here before their extinction, understanding their lives was really interesting. The best summary for this game that I found was actually in a Steam review, and it just said, simple premise, great execution, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. The most unique portion of Scanner Sombre is that you can't see anything with your bare eyes. You are underground, deep in the earth, with no sunlight and no lights at all. You think your character would have brought a flashlight at least, right? What you do have though is this scanner, an ironically VR headset looking device which allows you to scan your surroundings as you move along to not only find your way but also map the cave system. Now this scanner is actually real life clever because it's basically like a handheld Lidar scanner, and a Lidar is just a play on radar. So instead of using radio waves to map things, this uses light, aka lasers. Normally a Lidar scanner is used for mapping really big areas, like they're attached to planes when they fly over areas so they can map places like the rainforest and things like that. This obviously is a handheld version, and what it does is the lasers note the time it takes for them to bounce off and go back into the scanner and basically maps things from there. And what you see on screen now is a real Lidar scan of a cave. Very familiar. So research has been done here by the devs, and I respect that a lot. And you can look at what you've scanned not only as you move around, but also in the map menu screen, and this is an absolute delight. It's completely 3D, you can fully move around and see everything you've explored in full detail in everything that you've scanned. If you haven't scanned a piece, it won't be there, but everything you've scanned will be so clear. Zoom in, zoom out, all you have to do is grab the map with a VR controller and take a look, and it is beautiful. And as you start to get further and further into the system, when you have a look at that map, you can really see how large this unexplored cave system really is. I found it really fun to relive the journey through the cave system by looking at the map as I went along, but you're not going to see anything without using the scanner. Now, to control the scanner, you just need to hold down your trigger to fire it. There's no recharge needed or time limit on the base scanner's ability. If you don't want to hold the trigger constantly, you can just press in your thumbstick on your right hand or left hand, depending what mode you're in, because there is left-handed support. Just push in your thumbstick and it will just scan continuously by itself and not stop till you press your joystick in again. Now, I mentioned base scanner as there are extras you can pick up for the scanner along the way. You'll find these naturally along the linear path that you travel through the cave, so don't worry too much that you're going to miss out on something if you're not exploring every nook and cranny. There's what I call the all-round scan, and that just scans everything in the vicinity all at once and looks super cool. This does have a recharge on it though, so use it wisely. You'll get the ability to focus and unfocus the scanner beam as well, therefore you can narrow it and widen it as you go along. Being able to focus it is really helpful for scanning far in front of you to see what's coming up ahead. There's more as well, but I don't want to give away everything. You might see some footage of it in this review, but I'm not going to specifically say anything. The atmosphere here in Scanner Sombre is really one of the stars of the show. It's so well done, especially for a game that technically is pitch black. The colors of the scans combined with this ever-changing layout makes you unsure while proceeding, but with this air of confidence as you know that you can scan what's ahead before you have to tackle it. But sometimes that does just increase anxiety about moving forward. Now, most of the time there is nothing but the sounds of the caves paired with your echoing footsteps. But you will encounter some music when you reach certain areas, which can be such trickery. You'll be walking along and some tense music will fade in. You'll put you on edge, increase anxiety about where you are, what's going on, what's in this corner, what's over there, but you'll walk through that entire section with no incident whatsoever, unless something comes after you. Alright, in the water. Oh dear. Is that some? Oh! No, did not like that. Oh. Which sounds scary as hell, but in the lore of the game, this is more like a ghost in the machine type of situation, or a past echoes type deal. You see people and echoes of what once was, which breathes life into these caves and stops things getting too flat, because seeing what existed here before you came just adds to how in-depth the story gets and the world building is in Scanner Sombre. But while music can be used to freak you out and put you on edge, other times they use it to convey the beauty of these caves. All of this paired with seeing what once was in these caves keeps you pushing forward to find out more about the world lore and what has happened down here, because you are here to uncover a mystery of sorts. For me, one thing that lets the game down a bit though is that your character does make observations as you move through the caves, but only through silent subtitles that appear in your vision. I would have enjoyed hearing the character speak and have that echo of their voice and sense of scale around them, but I would just attribute this to budget constraints, probably. I just think it really would have added something a little bit extra into the atmosphere. The other thing for me was the movement system. Teleport is not the normal way I move around in VR games. I use continuous motion as I don't really get motion sick with VR. I did get used to it quite quickly, don't get me wrong, and the interest in the lore and the gameplay kept me coming back for more. Fortunately, the developers have enabled you to just hold the teleport button and you'll just continue to move forward without stopping, kind of like just skipping forward, which makes things easier than placing a marker to move every single time you want to step anywhere. Also, this game came out in 2017, so VR was even smaller than it is now. The Quest 1 hadn't even been announced yet, so I can let this go quite easily because there was no standard for VR movement, and there still isn't really. It's always teleport or continuous. It's always one or the other, and then most of the time you get the option of both. Scanner Sombre is a relatively short experience. I managed to clear it in a few hours, but I will say this. I got it on sale for 11 pence. That's about 20 to 25 cents, and that's a bargain whatever way you look at it. The game is normally about £4, which is around $5 to $6, and that is still well worth it in my opinion. And that Steam review I mentioned at the beginning still holds true. Simple premise, great execution. Scanner Sombre is available right now on PC VR via Steam, and if you pick it up, definitely let me know what you thought of it. I love to find these games that are something a little different, that pull you into them and just keep you gripped the whole time. I want to say thanks to a subscriber and Discord member of mine, Baldric, as he is the one that turned me on to Scanner Sombre, and it was a great recommendation, so thanks so much, man, I appreciate it. With that said, this channel looks at games big and small, some you know, some you don't, and with that, my name is Rex, this is Eyes on VR, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.